Hi, welcome to my channel, Stitching Style by Nadia, and another Friday Sews. First of all, I'll share what I'm wearing today, and both of these are free patterns. You saw this t-shirt in my last Friday Sews. It's the Mandy Boat tee by Tazuti Patterns, and I'm wearing it with some Peppermint wide leg pants that were a collaboration between In the Folds and Peppermint magazine. And I'll just turn you around and show you those now. Here's my t-shirt, which I've just tucked in. I am wearing a thermal top underneath. It is spring and it is quite nice outside today, but I'm not quite at the stage where I can take my thermal top off yet. So here are the Peppermint wide leg pants I'm wearing with socks and slippers. Let me just turn out so you can see that. So it's got a fly front and I've got a big button. Now the only thing that mistake I made was I left the zip in when I did my buttonhole, and then when I was doing my buttonhole the needle got caught on the zip underneath. I should have trimmed it really, the top of the zip, so then I could do the buttonhole just on the fabric. So my buttonhole went a little bit wrong, so that's the only thing to watch out for. I did take them in quite a bit on the hip. I didn't want them to be too tight, so I made like in a size maybe too big, and then I took them in on the hip. I lengthened, because I've got a long body, I've lengthened the crotch depth, but then I had to do quite a significant sway back adjustment, and you can actually see on here I probably could take out another pinch. That's how they look. I actually really like these trousers. The only thing as well is that I did use different material for inside the pockets. It's kind of, just try and zoom in a bit more. The material is kind of matching, but it looks a bit lighter, and then it kind of pokes out a little bit. So maybe I should have used the same material on those, but oh well. It doesn't sit quite flat, the pockets, so that's just another thing to note. But otherwise, they're the best fitting trousers that I've ever had or made. So even though there's some tiny tweaks that maybe I need to make to the pattern next time, they're a really nice trouser. So just to check the measurements for the Peppermint wide leg pants, and it goes from a size A to J, and not the most size inclusive, unfortunately. It goes from waist 24 inches to hip 33 inches up to waist 45.5 inches and 54.5 inch hip. And I found the fly pretty easy to do. These are the second time I've made these trousers, and both times the fly went in fine. I made them last year, so obviously they're not a contender for Sew Frugal 2022, but I have made one more item that I can enter into the Sew Frugal 2022 competition. You saw last week, if you watched my video, I've done a Peppermint wrap top that was also a collaboration between In the Folds and Peppermint magazine. And I said last time that I was going to make the top again, and I showed you the fabric, and you can see it hanging here. So I have made it again. I made a few tweaks to the pattern, and I'll just try on the top to show you what I've done. Here's my second entry and my second Peppermint wrap top for So Frugal 22, and as you can see I have made a little bit more of an adjustment. It's sitting a little bit more open at the front. Now I did do small bust adjustment on it and I moved the bust dart up. On this side the bust dart is actually pointing a little bit too high, whereas on this side it is actually pointing, it's there and it's pointing at the apex of my bust. So I don't know what I've done there, but I must have made a little bit more of a mistake on this side. I don't think my bust is that different. I think that was just a sewing error on my part. Maybe I marked my dart wrong. I think I have also slightly stretched out this neckline. I think because maybe the material's a little bit more lightweight and a little bit more loosely woven because it's an iCat fabric. I did stay stitch, but at some point I must have slightly stretched out this neckline. Of course, what I didn't think about with it, with doing the small bust adjustment, it now fits much nicer on the side here, but I think I would prefer just a tiny little bit more coverage on the neckline. So I think if I'm to make this again, I would add the width I've taken out at the side and add it back onto the front of the top, just so I got a little bit more coverage at the front. That would just be my own personal preference. That's probably how it's supposed to sit. I did shorten the waist ties. I took off about 30 centimetres off each waist tie, and you can see that it ties nicely around the front without having big long dangly ties coming down. And it's a really nice comfortable top, and I think with the colour and everything and the pattern on it, I think this is going to look really nice for work. So the other thing that I did this week was I had an Agnes top, and I'll show it you now. And I think before I did the adjustment I got a little bit of footage of me wearing it before the adjustment, so hopefully I'll be able to pop that in now. This is my Agnes top by Tilly and the Buttons, and it is a standalone pattern, not one from one of her books. So yeah, I've got the PDF pattern, and it might not actually look all that tight, and I do have enough room for the for my arm, just about. There might be just a little bit of negative ease in that. But what ends up happening once I'm wearing it throughout the day, moving my arms around, is it ends up riding up and looking and feeling a little bit uncomfortable. So what I want to do is just to add in, I think, like 1 to 2 centimetres of ease in the pattern piece and redo these sleeves, just so it feels just that tiny little bit more comfortable. I was going to talk through doing the full bicep adjustment, except when I opened up my paper file to get the pattern out, I had already done a full bicep adjustment and I couldn't remember doing it, and I don't think I've made one since, but I knew I needed to do it, so I might have just followed the instructions. And you can see here, and I've marked here how much of an adjustment I've done. That is about 1 3/4 of a centimetre. So I took the sleeves off this Agnes top that I had and put new sleeves on, but you might be able to see the difference already in the material. So that, you know, you can see on the sleeve there that the material is obviously the colour on the existing part of the t-shirt has run, so it looks like a bit more of a blue background rather than the pink background of the sleeve. So yeah, I didn't think about that before I made the adjustment, and I'm not sure I'm that actually overly fussed about having slightly different coloured sleeves. I think probably they'll just wear in anyway, and then you won't be able to notice the difference, hopefully. But the arms fit much better. In fact, I'll just try on the top to show you. Here's the top now with the full bicep adjustment. When I actually made up the sleeves, the bottom of the t-shirt sleeves were a little bit big, so I unpicked the hem and took some out of the seam here and then redid the hem, just because yeah, it was just sitting a little bit like that, just like off my arm, and I wanted it to look neat. So I've actually been back and just taken some of the width out of the pattern piece, so hopefully next time that won't happen. As you can see here, it's size 5 here, and I've graded to size 4 at this point here where the hem is on the 3/4 sleeve, and then for the full sleeve one I've also just graded to the size 4 where they meet, so if I do the full sleeve then it'll fit together all perfectly. I've ironed my material to make my maxi dress, so that is the next on the list to do. So it's this material here. I actually think these two fabrics actually go nice in a like pattern clashing kind of way. Anyway, yeah, so this is the material that I've chosen to do a maxi dress for my brother-in-law's wedding, and I'm just going to cut out those pattern pieces today, and I'm going to make up the dress. So I'm basing it on the Hinterland dress, but there's a few tweaks. If you've been watching my previous videos, you know that I've done a small bust adjustment on the size 14 of the Hinterland bodice. I have also created a pattern piece to do a ruffle on the bottom, just a rectangle, which I'm going to cut on the fold, add to the bottom of the dress in a gather, and I've already done a maxi length Hinterland dress. So I used that previous pattern piece, but I do want it to be a little bit longer because that kind of reaches the floor when I'm in flat shoes, which I do normally wear flat shoes, but for the wedding I want to wear a heel, so I have lengthened it a little bit more to take into account that I'm going to be wearing heels, and I want it to kind of just sit above the floor. Yeah, so I've added on some more length to the pattern piece. I've added on quite a bit there, and that was where my previous pattern piece was, and I've added on that. I've also added on quite a little bit to the width of the pattern piece compared to my previous version, because it didn't look that ruffly, and I wanted it to look a little bit more ruffly this time, you know, have a few more gathers on it. But I'll see if I'm going to be able to fit that out of my fabric. So with the sleeve, I want the sleeve to be a little bit more puffy at the top and to be gathered at the bottom into an elasticated cuff. So I've made some tweaks to the sleeve pattern by doing 5 lines, 1 in the middle and then 2 on either side, and then spacing them out evenly, and then putting some paper behind and smoothing out the arm side, and also just making sure it's all even at the bottom. I have created a bit of a curve on that hem just to try and make sure that, I think sometimes what can happen is the inside of the arm can be a little bit short compared to the outside. So yeah, I've just put a little curve on it to hopefully make sure that yeah, it falls nicely. I don't really know what I was doing with this, but I read in one of the books that I think it's so many dresses, so little time, on how to do different tweaks to the sleeve, and I think I read in there a while ago that's how you do it, and I just kind of made it up. So we'll see how it goes this time. I didn't refer back to the book when I actually did these tweaks to this pattern piece. I just kind of went from memory. So hopefully it works out, but I will let you know. I'm a little bit worried now I'm not going to squeeze all of this out of the material that I've got, but I'll just have to see how I get on. And I'm hopefully doing some waist ties, so it's not going to really look like the hinterland dress pattern when I'm done, but hopefully it's going to be a nice summer easy breezy dress to wear. Now the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to line it. I've not completely decided how I'm going to do that. If you watched one of my previous vlogs, I showed you I'd got some white viscose to use as a lining, so it's the same weight as this fabric that I'm using, the viscose fabric. I'm definitely going to line the bodice. I've not decided whether I'm going to do an underskirt as a separate piece or whether I'm going to do the dress fully lined. That's still to be decided, depending on how the construction and everything goes. There's still things that I need to kind of work out in my own head how I'm going to do it, because I couldn't find a pattern that had a fully lined dress pattern that I liked, or was the kind of style that I was looking for. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of working things out myself, and not being very experienced in this type of thing, I am kind of just feeling my way. And I'll let you know how I'm getting on in my next Friday sews. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to talk about is my outfit of the week, and this isn't from this week actually, it's from last week. I'll put a picture up now. This is when I was at work, and I wanted to share this because, not because it was actually my favourite outfit, but because I was trying to style the waistcoat and I couldn't work out how to style it and how I liked to wear it. Now I really like waistcoats, and it's something that I want to make in future. I know that Sian Kitchenish Behaviour has recently made a lovely fitted waistcoat that looked absolutely beautiful. I would like to make one, and I would like to make a fitted one, so that may be something that I copy. But I have ready to wear waistcoat that I got from Zara last summer, and I really like wearing waistcoats, but I couldn't think of how to wear it, so I tried it on with different things, and this is what I felt worked best. So this also includes a little bit of a confession that I have recently bought 2 items of clothing when I went away with my sister in Halifax, and I am trying not to buy any clothes or fabrics, but when we went away for a few nights I didn't pack very well, and I didn't really have any tops to wear, so I decided we were in the supermarket anyway, and I just said to my husband, oh, I'll just have a look around the supermarket and see what they've got in terms of tops to wear. So I found this blouse, which is really pretty and got a gathered cuff, and it's got like some elastic on the shoulder, but it's kind of a drop shoulder, and then it's got some elastic on just to gather it in a little bit, and it's got some shirring around the neckline as well to do these gathers here. And the material has got like, it's kind of like, if you can see that, with just some embroidery bits on it, and it's in like a soft white colour, and I just thought it looked so pretty, this top. I know I could probably make something quite similar myself, and I have been looking at some different blouse patterns because I do like a blouse as well as a shirt. So yeah, I ended up buying this and a pink jumper, both from Sainsbury's. I think doing So Your Colours 22 has really made me concentrate on what colours I like and what colours I want in my closet. And now I've kind of given myself permission to wear black and white, and even though they're not in my colour palette, I've kind of made the decision, that's what I like to wear. And so it's actually been a little bit of a revelation for me, in terms of knowing what suits me. When I went into the supermarket, ordinarily I would have looked at a lot more things, but I kind of really honed in on the colours that I know suit me, and I ruled things out if they weren't in my colours, which is a lot of progress actually for me. I really think this outfit works. It's the trousers are handmade. I really like the Elizabeth Suzanne Clyde work pants. Those are the trousers that I'm wearing for this outfit. I'm wearing some black leather Chelsea boots and this blouse and a waistcoat. And I like how the blouse is quite kind of soft and flowing and has quite voluminous arms, but then the waistcoat is quite structured and a little bit more slim fitting. When I got to work, I put the outfit on and I thought, I'm not kind of quite comfortable with this outfit, but it's the only outfit I've got, so I've got to wear it. And actually pushing myself to style something that I was struggling to style was really good, and I actually, by the end of the day, I felt really confident in the outfit, and I'm definitely going to wear all that together again. So I hope you've enjoyed my vlog today. I've really enjoyed chatting to you, and thanks for liking my videos and subscribing to my channel, and for all your lovely comments. They really do make me very happy to read, and I love to reply to them all. Okay, so I'll see you next week. Bye for now.